Welcome to the e-learning course, Fiery XF in a nutshell. This will provide you with an overview of the features, capabilities, and ease of use of the new Fiery XF. Fiery XF is a flexible and scalable high-speed color management workflow and precision raster image processor for proofing, package prototyping, fine art printing, and wide to super wide format production. In this video, we show an in-depth insight into the Fiery XF production and proofing workflow and the overall functionality and special features that solve even complex production tasks. It will cover a general overview about the Fiery XF user interface, installation and software activation, setting up typical production workflows, typical use case scenarios as far as typical problems of production and proofing, typical tasks and how Fiery XF solves them for you to get the most out of Fiery XF. Depending on their area of business and printing technology, users have different demands on a color management solution. A major field of application is the precise color reproduction on inkjet printers for proofing, predicting the color of print products that are to be printed on different print technologies such as offset printing. To do so, the color space and reproduction behavior can be simulated on an inkjet or even on a toner-based printer. Today, accurate color reproduction is important in all areas of application. Production speed and reliability. In the field of print for pay and digital large format production speed and reliability is in focus, but also production features like layout and production marks functions. Integration and automation. A common demand is the increase of productivity by automating common tasks and integrating such a solution in your workflow of choice with interfaces to other print technologies or an MIS. Color communication and compatibility. A communicative solution ideally uses open standards and is compatible and open communicating with other systems. This video will give you a basic overview how to set up and work with Fiery XF to fulfill all of these demands. Fiery XF is a client-server-based system. The Fiery XF server, the heart of the system, and installed on a server hardware somewhere in the local network. It connects to all printers via the local network, either by TCP/IP or file export. The user can install the client application on any computer in the network and connect to the server. Fiery XF is available for Windows and Mac OS and can be installed even in mixed environments. Clients or server can be installed on Windows or Mac OS X and can both connect to servers running on Windows or Mac OS. Windows 7 or Mac OS 10.8 or higher is recommended for both client and server. The minimum hardware requirements for client and server differ, since the server has a much bigger workload and the client is much less demanding to the hardware. The client is only the view into the server, which is doing the actual processing. The more memory, the better is a rule of thumb, but at least 16 gigabytes of RAM are recommended and an 8-core CPU. For high demands, EFI offers the Fiery proServer that provides the highest throughput. The client can be a standard DTP or desktop computer with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. The Fiery XF server is protected with a USB dongle, so at least one free USB port should be available at the server. The dongle hardware contains a unique ID that identifies your Fiery XF during the activation process. The installation process happens in two major steps: the actual software installation and the product activation. Please note that you need administrator rights on your computer and ideally an internet connection to do the following steps. Please also ensure that the USB dongle that comes with the package is plugged to a free port of your server computer. First, the server is installed ideally on dedicated server hardware from the software DVD. There is one DVD for each operating system, Windows or Mac OS X. Choose the according DVD and launch the setup. Double-click the installer icon. The installer screen shows the DVD options. Choose the Install Fiery XF option. For the ease of demonstration, we choose the pre-selected default setup for server and client. Follow the installation wizard by clicking Next. At the end of the setup, you will be asked to activate Fiery XF. Activating Fiery XF is mandatory to start the server and work with Fiery XF. You can choose between an automatic and a manual activation procedure. While the automatic activation is default for servers with an internet connection, the manual activation procedure is an alternative if the server does not have an internet connection. This is often the case, e.g. in production environments where the server intentionally should not access the internet for production security reasons. Select the Automatic Activation tab and the first option of the tab. The second option for the ease of use allows downloading an already exiting activation that is licensed to the plug dongle. Type in the activation code that came with your software package and click Next. Type in the user details the software should be activated to and activate the software. If the installation was successful, the activation dialog can be closed and the Fiery XF server starts automatically. Installation and activation take approximately 30 minutes in average. After the main installation and activation, it is recommended to install the media profiles. The media profiles are delivered on a hybrid DVD that could be used for a profile installation on Mac and Windows. Start the installation wizard from the Media Profiles DVD by clicking Setup. Choose the manufacturer and device driver for your devices, and that's it. As soon as the server is up running, clicking the Fiery XF client application icon launches the Fiery XF client application. To log into the server the first time, a default login and password needs to be used, which is in both cases admin in lowercase letters. The client's main view consists of two tabs, the Job Explorer and the System Manager. The Job Explorer focuses on job management and job editing, and the System Manager focuses on system workflow setup and automation. You can think of the Job Explorer as a production desktop where you organize and edit your jobs from previewing to editing marks and spot colors or cut paths. It is divided in three main areas: the preview, the job list, and the property inspector. But let's start from top to bottom. All commands and tools for managing and editing jobs are accessible via this menu and toolbar. While the menu contains all commands and tools, the toolbar contains the commands for the most common commands like add job or print. A secondary toolbar provides you with the necessary tools for direct job manipulation, like cropping, alignment, and transformation. The preview area displays a WYSIWYG view of the selected job or nesting. It also provides interactive methods for directly manipulating job properties like position, scaling, or rotation. If the preview is not needed, the bottom divider line can simply be moved to the top to maximize the space for the job list. Choose Maximize Preview from the View menu if you want to maximize the preview to obtain more space, e.g. for editing larger nesting. The selector is hidden by default. Click on the left border of the main window to contain three different views that could be changed by selecting them in the drop-down control on top of the selector. Based on the selection, the selector shows the current device's workflows or status. Selecting one of these icons filters the job list accordingly so that the job list only shows jobs with the selected status or assigned to the selected workflow or printer. The job list displays all of the user's jobs and its status and fundamental properties in a table format. The list can be customized in its context menu, accessible via the right mouse button menu, and the columns of the table can be defined. Clicking the context menu of a job brings up the most important commands that can be directly applied to the selected job, nesting, or several jobs. A nesting is a group of several jobs combined to one job on a virtual sheet. Each job keeps its properties if no special nesting creation rules are applied. Nesting sheets and pages of multi-page jobs are displayed in the preview and in a tree view under the nesting in the job list. Job states indicate the job's current state, e.g. if it is being processed, printed, or erroneous. Colors give also an optical indication of the states of the jobs, e.g. red if a job failed to print, or green if it was successfully printed or can be verified. The Property Inspector on the right side of the screen contains all the necessary information and functions to print a job, edit the layout of a job, or a nesting. All properties and related grouped on tabs. The Info tab shows general job information. On the Layout tab, all functions for editing the job layout are grouped. The Finishing tab contains finishing and cut mark options. The Color Management tab manages input profiles and spot colors. Printer device options are grouped on the Output tab, including media profiles and special device functions. Especially for proofing, the Verification tab contains all information and functions or automatic color measurement and verification against industry or house standards. The tabs are divided in panes that group certain functions. The header of each pane shows the name of the function and a checkbox that activates the pane. Each tab and pane also contains a context menu. The tab's context menu provides navigation links that allow quick access of panes without scrolling and customizing the number of panes displayed. Clicking the icon next to the pane's activation checkbox, the pane's context menu can be accessed. The pane's context menu provides a context help for each pane. The preset name is also displayed in the pane's header and can be accessed by clicking the name or arrow next to the preset's name. In the System Manager, the administrator manages devices, workflows, and users. Each user defines an account that is allowed to access the server with the client. Workflows are used for automating and applying settings to each incoming job before they are sent to the output device. Several users can be connected and print into one workflow, while a workflow can be connected to only one device. Output devices contain all settings that are related to a connected printer. These include media settings, hardware settings like resolution, or even special hardware settings like white ink printing. The System Layout view provides a visual overview of the current system. The lines between the system objects, users, workflows, and devices show the flow of the jobs. Each user is able to see only the workflows and devices from the Job Explorer view, which the user is connected. Each workflow can be connected to one device. Each output device can be the connection target of several workflows that share this device. The green arrows or red squares display the current status of system object and can also be used to change its status. The green arrow means open for processing. The red square means blocked at the according stage. In case of a user, the user can be blocked from logging into the server by clicking the green arrow, changing it to red. Each workflow has an input and an output state at the front and end of the workflow with different purposes. The status icon in front of the workflows defines if a workflow spools and processes jobs, or if the workflow only spools jobs without processing them. In that case, the jobs will be processed as soon as they are manually printed. Immediate processing after spooling is useful when jobs are not edited at all and can be printed as is. When the status at the end shows if jobs are sent to the connected device. If not, jobs will be processed but not sent to the printer. The according icons on the device display if a device is allowed to print or not. The icons on top of the system display can be used to change the status system-wide, e.g. stop all devices and workflows from printing. By right-clicking into the system view or one of the system objects, a context menu provides its most important actions, e.g. connecting it to another system object. The toolbar contains the most important system commands like creating or deleting system objects. All of them can also be accessed from the menu, or some of them also from the context menu, by right-clicking into the system view or one of the system objects. Similar to the Job properties in the Job Explorer, the Properties panel on the right side provides all properties of the current selection in the system view. Workspaces are a new concept for customizing the overall appearance of the Fiery XF client to the user's needs. The administrator can decide which tabs and panes are provided to an operator user, and this user can customize it even further. The administrator can edit and manage workspaces in the Workspace Manager. The Workspace pane is accessible from the user's properties and shows the currently assigned workspace for this user. By clicking the Edit button, the Workspace Manager opens up in a window. It shows by default some predefined standard workspaces for proofing and production that cannot be deleted. By clicking the New button, a workspace can be created from scratch. In the right-hand tree view, all tabs and its panes are displayed with a checkbox. By checking or unchecking the checkbox, the administrator can define if this pane or even the whole tab is exposed to the user. This configuration can be saved and then assigned to the user by selecting the user's Workspaces pane. Each of these assigned, predefined, and custom workspaces are now available from the Application menu or Context menu. The Workspace menu in the menu bar on top of the screens provides a quick access to all workspaces and shortcuts to the property tabs. Same for the Workspace Context menu, which is accessible on the right side of the Property tab navigation. Selecting another workspace immediately changes the displayed tabs and panes accordingly. This provides a great flexibility and reduces complexity while working with the Fiery XF. After launching Fiery XF the first time, we have two default users, one default workflow, and one device. These default items are needed by Fiery XF to linearize devices and are not used for production. This part of the tutorial will show you how quick and easy Fiery XF is set up and configured for production. Click the System Manager tab. In the toolbar, click the Add New User. Rename the new user to a name of your choice. Find a password for the user and set the role of the user to admin if the user should have admin rights, e.g. access to the system manager. Please note that only one admin can be logged in at a time to prevent simultaneous editing. User, who can only use the Job Explorer and should not access the system properties, e.g. operators. Choose a workspace, which defines what tabs and panes are exposed to the user, e.g. only production settings for production operators. Creating a workflow and devices can be done manually in the same way we just did with users. This is only recommended for the sophisticated user. An easier way is to use the Setup Wizard. The Setup Wizard guides you step by step through all necessary settings that are needed to set up a production or proofing workflow and device. All settings can be changed later if needed. In our case, we choose a high-quality production workflow. And the VU Tech HS100 Pro. After clicking Finish, you only need to connect the user to the workflow, and that's it. Now we are ready to do our first print. Select the Job Explorer view by selecting the tab on top of the screen. Unhide the selector by clicking the screen divider on the left side. Select the new workflow that we just created. Load the job by clicking the Import button or the File Import in the application menu. In the dialog, select the file that you want to import and click Open. In the next dialog, the workflow that we selected is pre-selected and theoretically can be changed, but we continue with our selected workflow. Select Whole Job so that the job is not processed and printed right away, even if the workflow and device are configured to process and print immediately. As soon as a job is uploaded, it will be spooled, which means analyzed and prepared for processing. Click it to select the job and to show its preview. To change the layout, navigate to the Layout tab in the Property Inspector. Click the label Layout. In the Layout pane, choose the option Scaling and scale it to fit width. Click the Save icon to save the changes. The job is now ready to print. Click the printer icon to print the job. In case you print to a production device like a VU Tech printer, the job is not directly printed to the device, but to an RTL output file that needs to be loaded into the printer's controller software. The progress bar on front of the job name shows the current processing and printing state. That's it, and it just took us only a few minutes. This was a very basic example of a print job. Very often jobs need to be edited or prepared for a special application or simply to save media. Fiery XF provides a vast set of tools to do so, from layout, spot color editing to finishing or color verification. The editing of the properties happens in the right-hand Property Inspector. The Info tab contains all necessary information about the job type, size, and information about potential problems with a job when processing failed. With the Layout functions, the operator can define positioning, scaling, or cropping, and rotation of a single job or a job on a nesting. A nesting is a group of jobs combined to one job. This is often useful to save media, create new layouts, or simply combine the jobs of one customer. Layout tools like Step and Repeat help the operator to create quickly several copies of the same job or even wallpaper tiles. With production features like tiling, the operator can individually divide large jobs into individual sized tiles, e.g. for trade show booths or car wraps, or simply print large jobs on smaller devices. The new assembly guide provides a clear overview on how to assemble these tiles later, e.g. at the trade show booth. The adjacent tile numbers are printed in the tile footer and are shown in the tile guide either in an overview or of the individual tile. Provide special crop and cut marks to prepare the job for finishing tasks like grommet marks and cutting it on an external contour cutting device. The heart of Fiery XF is its color management. Color management compares the color profiles and color space of the incoming jobs with the available color space of the output device to reproduce the job's color in the color gamut of the output device as perfect as possible. Fiery XF can even simulate certain print processes, including screen proofing. Spot colors are clearly defined and named colors by color manufacturers that have a guaranteed color value. They are usually used in analog print processes when color always and constantly needs to have the exact same color, or if the wanted color is out of the gamut of a certain print process, but they are also common in digital print workflows. Fiery XF provides a comprehensive set of tools to define, adapt, and edit those spot colors, including special spot colors like white ink and metallic colors. Especially for printing with white, metallic colors, and varnish, Fiery XF provides flexible routing possibilities for effectively working with these colors. The Output tab contains all the output, special printer, and media settings like number of copies, print head's control bar, or media profile. Media profiles describe the color space and color reproduction behavior of your printing device and are the other important component in color management. Fiery XF comes already with hundreds of high-quality media profiles for a variety of production, proofing, and photo papers. These are constantly updated, and new profiles are constantly added for new media and devices on the market. To keep Fiery XF up to date, these profiles can be immediately downloaded with Online Profile Updater accessible from the server tray icon. Our comprehensive set of easy-to-use wizard-based tools that guide you through the linearization and profiling process. These will be explained in depth in a separate video. Standards like the G7, ISO, or PSD standard guarantee that a print product that is printed in a printing house that follows one of these standards have a guaranteed color and print quality. Print buyers have learned to value print providers that employ process control and keep their printing equipment within given tolerances at all times. Fiery XF provides all the tools to measure and prove prints against these standards and ensures measurable, consistent, high-quality output. Fiery XF provides two types of wedges that can be printed and measured with each print. The static, that is usually used to proof the printout against the just mentioned standards like the G7, while the dynamic wedge, which is a special wedge that is dynamically created by Fiery XF. To create the wedge, Fiery XF analyzes the job colors and choosing key color from the job. This is often needed when a job contains a lot of colors that are not perfectly covered by a static wedge. The wedge can contain up to 64 different colors, which can be printed, measured, and compared in the same way as static wedges. And what makes them even more useful, the colors can be optimized to the color gamut of the output device. This guarantees the best usage of the output device's color gamut. Okay, that's it for now. This was a basic walkthrough through Fiery XF. But Fiery XF provides much more than this, which includes comprehensive tools for profile creation, MIS, or cut server integration. Watch out for the upcoming in-depth videos and how-tos. Thanks for watching!